What's up, guys? It is Connor with Hound Dog Motorsports, and today I'm showing you guys how to bleed your clutch. It's not that difficult. The internet has a really difficult way of describing how to do this. I show you by far the easiest way that you can do it in less than 10 minutes. I replaced my slave cylinder, so I needed to bleed the clutch, and same thing with my master cylinder. But in this video, I'm only showing you how to replace your slave cylinder and bleed it. It is the easiest way to do it. It takes me less than 10 minutes. This video will also be less than 10 minutes. It is not as difficult as they make it seem. This applies to all models, the E46, the E92, any of the E90s, the 3 Series, so on and so forth. And this also applies to other makes like the Audi, Volkswagen, or other VAG models. This is by far the easiest way to done it. I've been doing this way for years, and I'm not one for long-winded intros, so let's get to the work. All right, guys, this is the easiest way to remove the slave cylinder on your E90. And it's also the easiest way to bleed it. For some reason, the internet has it all mixed up as if like it's like some complex thing when it's really not. So I got a 13 millimeter with a universal joint socket adapter on there with a 3/8 electrical taped around that so it doesn't wobble as much, with 2 6-inch extensions and a 3/8 like 120 click Husky ratchet. So here I am taking off the bottom one. It'll be off shortly. As you can tell, I don't even need to take off the extensions in order to take this off. I've taken this off like twice now, or twice to try and bleed it. And now we're gonna go through the back, which I am going through all the way through the back here and through the top. And from here, I'm gonna work that socket onto it. Boom, already on there. As you guys can see, it's right up on there and in there. I'm gonna zoom in for a closer look. So as I'm taking it off, not disconnecting any of the hoses yet, just taking it off. Let's come off. Now keep in mind, I got big hands too, but I can still fit my hand all the way back here to guide it on that nut. So go ahead and push it in despite all this dust I'm getting in my mouth and my face. And I feed it out back through there. Set the other bolt down and gonna wiggle this out. As you can tell, this is the original because it's metal. All the aftermarkets are usually plastic, unfortunately. And I go back all the way back and a little bit down, and then I angle it down, I go over torpedo, and now it's out. Alright, excuse me if this is shitty quality. Fortunately, I don't have the luxury of a lift like other YouTube people, but I just took this pin out, C-clip, I'm gonna pop that out. Like that. And I'm gonna quickly put my thumb on it. Well, swap over to this. And it clips right on in like butter. It did give me a little bit of trouble coming out, and that's to be expected. Oh, this one actually came with a clip in it, so obviously need to push it in all the way. All right, we are back. When you take this out, you need to make sure that this nipple comes out with it. Otherwise, you're going to run into a constant leaking issue like you just saw. I'm going to go ahead and fit this back on. See if I can put it on correctly because I'm not entirely sure how it goes on. So it just snaps right on. I'm not sure if you guys heard that, but it does clip on. Go ahead and put your cotter pin in. Or not your cotter pin, but your C-clip. See, she snaps right on in there. I guess that's what it should sound like when it goes in correctly. And boom. Shouldn't leak anymore. I'm going to get some towels, fill it up with brake fluid because I'm sure it's missing some, and then we'll go ahead and bleed it. Alright, so I've cleaned up all the mess. I have the towels, the paper towels right here. Fortunately, I didn't pick up any Blue Shop towels from Hobo Freight when I went. But here we have the nipple at pointing almost straight up. The whole assembly is straight up and down. And then we have the push, the cylinder at the bottom, and the compression cylinder at the top. So what we're going to do is push down, up a little bit, and then we're going to go, as we're going down, we're going to open this. Before we come up, we shut it. Down. You can hear a little bit of sloshing. You can hear air escaping like crazy. There you go. Now, I'm not the best at this, I will admit that, but I've done this dozens of times. So this is future Connor here. You know, as you can see that while I had the cylinder out and everything, and I was yapping and taking my time to do things, that I had actually ran the system dry, and I needed to refill it with that DOT4 brake juice. And yeah, so just had to repeat the same thing again. It took me maybe 10 pumps, and this is the equivalent, when it starts getting a little bit more firm, that's the equivalent of, you know, pedal feedback. So if you had someone sitting in the car, you know, manually bleeding it like that, it's the same exact thing. It's just doing it with one person. And being an antisocial car guy, I really do a lot of this by myself. So I've done this dozens and dozens and dozens of times with absolutely no issue. And as a matter of fact, we'll give a driving POV right after this, so you guys can see that it worked with absolutely no problems. I was able to get in first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth gear with no issues. And I also have my brakes since they share the same exact reservoir. Now, just for future reference, if you do run it dry, it's really no big issue. You just want to make sure that you fill it and then rebleed it. So, you know, after, you know, every 5 or so pumps, just make sure that it's not actually dry and that you're good to go. But other than that, this is really simple, guys. This is super easy, and there's really no problems with it.